Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Game-Based Learning in the World Language Classroom. The why, what, and how. We're on section 3 of my book, The How. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. If you want to help me work on my games, you can reach me at the Minecraft Education Ambassadors or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, the Duolingo Educators Network. I'm hanging out at Roxem2 or at studio-nemo.com. Today, we're talking about really physical games. Okay, most of my games get you up on your feet, walking around, but these ones more so than other games. In our previous episodes, we talked about Jenga, which does get you up out of your chair if you play it right, but these are much more physical. So I teach out in this portable. Here's this beautiful sunrise. All right. And I'm out in the portable. The main building's over here, way over here. I get forgotten about all the time. And oh man, nobody remembers I'm out here. And I get whiny about it. But then I suddenly remember, oh, nobody remembers I'm out here. I can do whatever the heck I feel like because nobody knows that I'm out here. So when on the days when the sun is really nice, it's so easy to take my kids outside. I went to the dollar store and I bought a ton of sidewalk chalk. And it's such a simple thing to say, hey guys, let's go outside. We're going to write all the kanji you know right here on the parking lot, okay? Or I'm going to roll the dice, you're going to draw a monster. It's just simple to do that. And then as the students are walking out to their cars, the other students are walking out of the cars, they're passing all the stuff we've written on the ground and like, oh yeah, I remember. The language classes are out here. So it's good advertisement for me. You remember all those mini whiteboard games that I talked about in chapter 10 of my book? This is episode 31 and 32. All of those mini whiteboard games can be done outside in your parking lot, outside on the sidewalk. Give the students a verb to conjugate or a sentence to write or a kanji, and they are going to go to town with it. Yeah, come to think of it, this is probably how I popped my giant inflatable dice, because I was rolling it as I was describing what kind of monster to draw. Hopscotch is a really good one, okay? You know how to play hopscotch. French teachers probably know escargot. Hey, you remember how we made numbers in Jenga? You could do the same thing for hopscotch. These same numbers. It takes longer than if you were playing Jenga, but you know what? If it's the birds are tweeting outside and the students are staring out the window and they're not concentrating anyway, at least you're getting them to produce some language, right? But my very favorite thing to do by far with chalk is take the students outside and I just start saying, okay, straight ahead, right, turn left, turn left again, go straight, turn right, just turn left, and just have them like squiggle around. Okay, so they've written something on the ground. Then get them in partners. And one partner is a tightrope walker, and the other one is the circus trainer. And they're giving them directions to walk on the line that they've just made. So they get to choose their line, or they get to hop from one line to another. But I just absolutely love that. You could go to town and have the students draw a town. One time we pretended we were cars driving down the street, and the other student was a buggy GPS, was giving the wrong directions, and we were trying to get places, and that was pretty fun. All right, let's talk about some ball games. This one was invented by my colleague Adrian, who teaches Spanish, and he gets the students in two lines, and starting with the very first day of school, he'll give this whole line a tennis ball, and he'll just have them toss the ball back and forth as they say the subject pronouns until they get used to it. Okay, so this is kind of a TPRS that has nothing to do with... Normally when you do total physical response, you are doing some action that is associated with the word. But he's just doing this as kind of a brain break for, hey, you're moving and you're saying the subject pronouns. Okay, so eventually they're saying the subject pronouns in a predetermined order without the teacher intervention, and then he adds a verb. Okay, other ball games. This is me with one of my classes. I have two balls in the mix to keep them on their toes, and we're doing kind of variation on that. Okay, so when Adrian has the students, they know all their subject pronouns, it's time to start conjugating verbs. So he gets them in a circle and he has them write really giant on these just pieces of paper that they put down in front of them. He'll be nosotros, he'll be ustedes, he'll be usted, okay? And then they've got a giant basketball now, and then he gives them a verb and he has them conjugate it, okay? So, like the students will, like usted will bounce the ball over here to Dio, okay? And he gives them comprar, okay? So he's got to bounce it to Dio and say Dio compro, and then she chooses who she's going to bounce it to. Tu compras, whatever. So they're bouncing the ball around, which is good. You could use a permanent marker and write stuff on a basketball or a beach ball, and then as the students catch it, wherever their right thumb is touching, they have to conjugate the verb or answer the sentence or whatever. Okay, let me talk about some games that a lot of people love. They love Trashketball, which is basically it's like a game show. You have 2 or 3 teams, and when a student gets a correct answer, they are allowed to throw a wad of paper or a rolled up sock or a tennis ball into a trash can, and then they could get an extra point for their team. A variation is you draw a circle on the whiteboard and you have students toss something at it, maybe a magnet, and if the magnet sticks here or if the sock hits the whiteboard right in the target, then they get an extra point. But I have to tell you, I have never ever been able to get this game to work for me because there's too many students just sitting passively, waiting their turn. Or they've already gone and now they're spacing out because they know they're not going to be called on for another 20 students. So, if you're going to do that kind of thing, think of it as like a social emotional learning thing instead. Like instead, my colleague and I will take our students out. He's got like a wiffle bat and a giant novelty softball. And so we'll just ask the students softball questions, if you will. And we'll just play a little game of baseball, his class against my class. Is it a good use of instructional time? Absolutely not. But it is good social emotional learning time. All right, in our next episode, I'm going to dive deep into sports of the target culture because you can get so much. You can embed your culture and you can embed your language at the same time. So I hope to see you there.